Welcome to yet another Action Trippin Ballscast. This is the Ballscast number 10, and we have a special guest, reviewer Vince Massa, whose probably biggest review of the year, is already up on the site now for Fallout 4. So he has surfaced from the apocalypse in Boston to take some time out and discuss our topic of the week, which is kind of appropriate for Fallout 4, and that is Game of the Year topic. I know it's only November, and we still got a couple more releases, but it is time to start talking Game of the Year before we forget everything that happened in the beginning of the year, because I know that I do. And of course, we have Uroš Pavlović, our editor-in-chief, with us as well. So it's the three musketeers here.
Hello.
All going to yell at each other about what's Game of the Year and who's an idiot. So it'll be good times.
Uroš.
But I am the boss, so I make the final decision.
Uh-huh.
I just needed to point that out, by the way.
Yeah.
I never point that out. I should point it out more often, I think. And the profound silence follows.
Thoughts of our IM conversations, then.
Yeah. Yeah. I love those, by the way. I must because you make such a fine selection out of all the crap we say. So. Yep, it's good to see that stuff public. But anyway, Game of the Year, yeah. Well, I still have to play a few that I've missed. I mean, like big name games, until until I personally decide.
Well, yeah, but surely you already have some in your mind.
Well, of course. I mean, off the top of my head, it would be The Witcher, I guess, because.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. It's just that kind of experience where you get all the joy from I don't know, a well-written story, a huge world to explore and all that stuff, pretty polished gameplay. Generally, like it's an improvement over the sequel, like I mean the previous installment, like a major improvement. Especially for me personally, because I didn't like The Witcher 2 that much. I was actually very annoyed by it.
So you're saying The Witcher 3 because it's this big, massive, open world RPG that has really great gameplay. It's kind of like, I don't know, Pillars of Eternity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just occurred to you, right, for the first time since you have. Is that a maybe? What do you think about that, Vince?
Pillars of Eternity was okay, but it just didn't stick with me the way that The Witcher 3 did, and it didn't keep my interest for that long. I mean, it's a great throwback to turn-based games. Had a lot of surprise in it. It was very well done. But overall, I've got to agree with you. I think it's Witcher 3.
Well,
See,
every time
I try to play Witcher 3, I can't get into it.
Why?
Every time? How many times have you tried? Like once?
Twice.
Sorry.
So I've tried twice. I play like a few hours. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty huge. And maybe it's because it is so huge.
Yeah, it's daunting.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's. Did you play the two, Witcher, the second one?
Mm-hmm.
And you finished it, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, then maybe that's more your kind of thing, because it's more similar to Mass Effect, I think, in a sense that it's more centered on dialogue, and it's more linear because I guess Mass Effect 1 was more open world, but I'm drifting away from the main.
I don't know.
Here.
I think it's the story kind of grabbed me a little more of the first.
Really?
Of Witcher 2, like Witcher 3. I mean, and I admit I have some book bias going on.
Oh, okay. So I haven't read the books.
So, because I mean, so he's trying to find Yennefer, and I'm like, fuck Yennefer. I can't stand Yennefer. And
the truth comes out.
Well, yeah. So, like, I don't really want to go look for her because she's just really a bitch, and so like, I don't know. And I guess like for the Witcher 2, when you start out, it really hits you with the story, and it's a little while before some of the side questing opens up, so that you kind of get a little more feel for it. And this one, it's like you just walk into a town and look at all the side quests that are right here to distract you from ever moving forward.
So it's not as linear, like you said.
So, but now you're making me sound like I'm an idiot, because every time,
No,
but
no.
at the same time, like Pillars of Eternity wasn't linear either. And that is just like you dropped into this world and go find yourself.
So in terms of scope, it's kind of the same experience. I mean, it's difficult to say because The Witcher is more like full on 3D, and it has that thing that they keep like yapping on about the developers. You see a tree for miles away on a mountain, and you can go there. The old
Right.
go there and go anywhere kind of thing. But Pillars of Eternity was like it was like touted as a completely different thing, like an old school thing, old school
Hmm.
RPG thing. But that has its appeal too. I'm not saying
Right.
it's a different. So in a sense, it would be it's just more. It's very specific. It's not. I guess it doesn't. Um, I don't know. People react differently to games, but I'm guessing that modern day gamers will just be into The Witcher 3 faster than they will with the Pillars, just because of
Well,
the
yeah, because Pillars is hard, because it goes back
That's
to
true.
that.
yeah
It goes
yeah
back to the Baldur's Gate days of you just can't, raw your way through a battle. You actually have to,
Right.
I
you have to get your party
remember
prepared, and you have
yeah
to actually, find as many people in your party as you can and level them up and work with them and find out where the strengths are so you can move them in and out. So
yeah
it's a little more to me. It's a little more hardcore
yes.
than The Witcher 3.
Yes, and I remember you like getting into the game for the first few days. You were just, it
I was
takes
like,
so
oh, I
long.
pretty much like I suck at this. This is awful. And then and reading a review, and they're talking about, yeah, when you get to like the first major point and you have 6 party members. I was like, you do? I only had 2. No wonder that battle was so hard.
Yeah, you need to give it some time. Their learning curve is,
Learning curve is steep. It is
steep.
very, very steep. But then once you get a hang of it, it gets fun. And
It used to. I mean, when I say old school, that's exactly what I mean because it used to be like that with most games. I'm not necessarily thinking of like Baldur's Gate in this instance because there were Vince, if you can remember that, what was it called? Icewind Dale
Yep.
series.
Yep. The Gold Box series.
That was really hard. That was 10 times harder than Baldur's Gate, and it was all like strict uh, advanced
D&D
Dungeons
rules.
and
Yep.
Dragons.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was hard to get into. I'm assuming that in that case, in that sense, like Pillars of Eternity would even be like capable of reaching a wider audience as opposed to those old games.
I don't know. I think you're right. I think the biggest benefit that we had back in those days, was that we were familiar with the D&D system, and so it wasn't having to, learn everything from scratch. Where
Yeah,
Pillars of Eternity, that's one thing that kind of threw me off was with the character generation and trying to build out your party. I didn't have enough time to go through and learn all the ins and outs, and so the questing was fun. It looked beautiful. Um, I didn't have time. Age-old thing. Witcher 3, you understand. You get up, you go point A to point B, you kill this thing. If you fail, you try to figure out what you did wrong, how I dodged incorrectly, I didn't block, and you go on from there. So, I don't know. I think you are right that it definitely does appeal to today's gamer more so than the party-based that we saw with Pillars of Eternity. But I don't know. I thought Witcher 3 was pretty rewarding. I haven't finished it yet. It's too big.
it is. I didn't finish it either. I played it a lot, like really for days and days. But would you say that so it appeals to you more than Fallout?
Um, Honestly, I think I've spent more time with The Witcher at this point than I have in Fallout. I want to spend more time in Fallout, and what it'll boil down to is exactly how big the world is in Fallout and how many quests and how much freedom I have. Witcher is absolutely huge, huge.
Yes,
So
it
you can
is.
waste a lot of time there, but you can also
yeah,
get yourself in a lot of trouble.
like so
Okay.
I did the Extra Life campaign this weekend where I played video games for 24 hours, and one of my donors told me to play The Witcher 3. His thing was he's going to make me play Gwent for an hour, but I haven't gotten that far to get the Gwent.
No, Gwent
So
is boring.
so he was like, so just play for an hour. You want to know what I did for that hour? So I rolled my eyes at Yennefer, and then I rode into town. And as I was trying to mosey through the town and move the story along, I was like, oh, look at all those dots. Got off my horse and was sitting there harvesting stuff for an hour.
Yep.
And then the hour went up. I was like, well, shit, I didn't get anything done.
Yeah, it's basically a great game if you're unemployed, because it'll just fill your entire day, and you make a little bit of progress. But just getting off of that first map, that took me a couple of days, and got to the next one, and that was even larger, and it's like, oh my gosh. And you go to some of these points of interest, and on this first one, the guys are level 8, you can handle them. You go to the other one that's about 5 minutes away, and it's like level 18 guys. So I like that, but you also have to be very strategic and very careful about the way that you approach all the items.
Well, how about I promise this? Since I've pretty much turned in like my last major big review for the year, so I actually have some time, I don't know, to go back through my backlog. Before I cast in my final ballot for Game of the Year, I will play more of The Witcher 3, so I have a little more balanced opinion.
All right.
Because I have another big one that I'm going to throw in there.
Okay.
And that is Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I've heard that's good. Haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but I
Well,
didn't hear
no, because it doesn't come out till tomorrow.
Well, I'm talking about this is based on people playing the last game. Is that an ice cream truck?
Wow, what is that?
It's my annoying phone. I cannot switch it off. Sorry, it's probably the thing is it's not my cell. It's
the landline.
It's the landline.
Wow.
I have to admit at this point that nobody calls me on the landline except my mom.
You're a bad son.
She's pretty persistent. Chances are that the cell phone is going to ring next. We can stop talking about my mom now. Just feel free to interrupt and continue talking about games and stuff.
Well, Rise of the Tomb Raider. I mean, I turned in my review and just about 10 minutes before we started this podcast or vidcast, and I mean, I really enjoyed the reboot and great fun with that. And this one it took the foundation of that and then refined it. So you got you got refined gameplay. You have expansion on gameplay. And one thing I put in my review, one thing I liked about it was that it doesn't do a Legend of Zelda thing, where you start your quest you have to start all over. You don't have any of that stuff you had in the last game. No, she already knows how to use those axes, so she already has them fully upgraded. Now there's other upgrades that you can do, but it's not like, I have to upgrade my pickaxe to open up a box and things like that. She already knows how to do all that. And so I was very thankful that it did that. And the story is dark and very, very good.
Well, you've piqued my interest. I must admit. No.
And it's as I was explaining to a friend, the first game is she's, and I put this in my review, she's this doe-eyed, archaeologist who has she's still learning, she's thinking, I'm gonna go out there and change the world, and not realizing that she has all this all this evil in the world. Now her eyes are completely open, and she's ready to take it on and prove that she is, because she was learning how to be a badass survivor, and now she is, and she's perfecting it.
So there's you can see her progressing.
Yeah.
And when compared to last time, because she was a bewildered amateur in terms of everything.
Yep.
Okay, that's a cool step up.
I'm not saying recommend that we play the first one before using it. Okay.
I played the first one. I finished it, and I didn't like it that much. It wasn't crap. There were some pretty cool moments in there.
You don't have to. You really don't have to play the first one. It doesn't expand on it at all.
I agree there.
There's only one character that comes over from the first one, and he's not even in it that much. Because the enemies are completely different. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only reason why it would help playing the first one is because some of the platforming aspects will be a little more intuitive, second nature, because you've already kind of learned, and relearning it, you just slip right back into it very easily. But I mean, it does. I mean, it's not like Assassin's Creed Syndicate, where it kind of forgets to give you a good tutorial. It does go through with you a pretty good tutorial, and it does it in a way that's not, here's how to move forward. She's in the middle of things, and teaches you kind of how to go through it. And the other thing, and I guess I probably should stop talking about it so that people actually read the review.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They did cut down on the QTEs, and that was one thing Udrash.
Good.
That's one of the first things I asked her. Like, what about the quick time event?
I'm not saying that they're not there. They're there, but it's
yeah, but
not
they were kind of. You said it yourself. They were kind of annoying the last time.
Yeah, they're not as prevalent.
Right. Just I wanted to ask. Oh yeah, how long will it be Xbox One timed exclusive then?
PC is in the spring or summer of next year, and then PS4 is next November.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I guess
and I have to say, even if this one doesn't make Game of the Year, I have also put it in the Action Adventure Game of the Year category. And if nothing else, this is definitely the Xbox One exclusive of the year.
Mm-hmm. So, well, okay. Obviously, I mean, it got a better score from you than Halo did.
Oh yeah. Well, that wasn't hard.
Well, yeah. I mean, because I'm starting to, it's getting more difficult for me to. At some point, I was seriously considering like buying the Xbox One. Now, until like more games, more platform exclusives get here, I just wouldn't know what would be the reason that would justify me.
Agreed.
Most of the stuff comes out on PC and PS4 anyway. Right now,
I think 2016 might give you more incentives because there's like a whole lot more Xbox One exclusives coming in 2016 than PS4.
Well, yeah, but like for starters, the fact that Halo 5 wasn't that brilliant, and you expect it to be brilliant, and like it's a flagship game for Microsoft, it always has been for the platform. So that's kind of a downer to begin with. And also, like, I think that most people agree for the time being that PS4 is just a better choice, a better console.
Well, yes, it is.
Overall, I'm not being like, I don't want to be, biased towards one platform, but just, the fact.
It's what I hear whenever I talk to anybody. We're pretty much in agreement that better built, better engineered, better games, looks better, and that's not being rude. It's just what we've noticed.
Yeah.
It's like even like when I plug in one of my consoles into my games case, my portable games case, it's really kind of funny because every single time I plug in my PS4, when I put in the HDMI, the monitor pops up, it goes to 1080p. I put in the Xbox One, it's either 720 or 900, no higher. It's not, and that's not a setting I do. That's an automatic detection on part of the monitor.
I'm sorry, I just tuned out there for a bit because I was looking at our list for Game of the Year for other genres, and the one that perplexes me the most is the MMORPG category, in which Vince would be the only like active sort of like to speak like freely.
It's been a lean year.
Yeah,
I was hoping to have played Final Fantasy XIV Heaven's Ward because I heard that's just fantastic, but I never got time to be able to get into that.
But even if it's like something that's already out, there's this, I don't know.
Well, I tried to get Vince to get into Tamriel Unlimited, and he kind of told me to fuck off.
I did not say that.
I said kind of.
What's okay? Okay, you don't have to.
Said it in a very Vince way.
I said, no, thank you.
That doesn't narrow it down, okay? Okay. But just like to quickly go over these other genres. I mean, I'm still waiting for Battlefront, I guess.
Yep. Oh well, Battlefront's gonna win it. I mean, that's gonna claim it.
Didn't we have more shooters this year? This seems a bit thin.
I honestly can't recall anything beyond this list, to tell you the truth.
I'm trying to, yeah, I can't.
There's not a lot of stuff that springs to mind.
Well, I guess Destiny doesn't count the add-on.
Came out last year.
No, the add-on. I mean,
That's
because
an
it was.
expansion.
Exactly.
Yes, I know it is. Don't worry, I will not include it.
He tried to put Destiny in the MMO category, Vince.
No, is that
can arguments to that end, but again, that's last year.
Yeah, but this is the first year they've admitted being an MMO. So
which they are? I mean, it is.
I know,
They
but
are.
last year they're like, no, we're not an MMO. Yeah.
They so are. It's that kind of structure because of the never-ending grinding process.
Yep.
It has improved tremendously since last year. It's still like it still can't like cover up all the crap they gave us before, which is nothing. You know. But I'm really it fascinates me how meticulous they are when it comes to polishing the shooter mechanics, which is you can notice this in the Crucible, which is their competitive multiplayer element in the game. It's like any competitive multiplayer, it's ruthless. So once you're in there, you're gonna keep dying, and the only way to like survive is to, you know, like practice it insanely, and go to YouTube and look for hints and tips, and then you just work your way slowly up those leaderboards and whatever.
It's
But
still going in the Game of the Year list.
well, if it's we could actually consider making there were a lot of like competitive multiplayer games out there, like a separate category. I don't know if that's like a legit idea for this year, because we have like RPG, MMORPG, which is I don't know. We can like mention it, but we don't have any candidates here.
Well, there are a couple of candidates. It's just there wasn't a lot of them that were really that strong, in my opinion. You had, of course, WildStar going free to play.
And there was the old.
That came out last year.
The Old Republic had an update recently.
But that also came out years ago.
Yep.
And that is also. Did that turn that? No. What happened with that? With that game? Is it
with
still
what?
Like, with Star Wars, the Old.
Oh yeah, it's still going. They just had a big update for it.
Right. I know. I remember writing about it, but is this like still you subscribe like Warcraft?
You can. It's free to play.
It's free to play.
It's free to play. That's what I was going to say. They changed that a while back.
Right.
Racing games. Oh my god. Oh. Okay. Suffice it to say, there were racing games this year. Moving on. Adventure. Oh, did we have anything else besides like Tales from the Borderlands and Life is Strange?
I'd never played the Game of Thrones one, so.
Ugh. Okay. Well, what was the opinion on that? I mean,
people loved it. I mean, it's Telltale. Everyone loved it.
Fighting game Mortal Kombat X. Well,
yep.
The end. Strategy game. Christ, just it's all these genres. I just don't play them enough. Indie game. Well, I have to think about that one a lot. Okay, now this is an interesting. I'm wondering. I was talking to Carrie about this. If we should, because like I mean, Vince probably remembers that we've always. I mean, Carrie, we've talked about this. That every year we make a disappointment of the year or biggest letdowns. That's what we like used to call it. But it usually comes in January. Everything that like was a disappointment in the previous year. So now we've been talking about making a disappointment of the year category in our game of the year, which in this case would like there are a few candidates, unfortunately. Like
my heart was broken twice this year.
By
The Order 1886.
And it was broken by Broken Age.
Oh wait, I forgot a huge one on here. Transformers Devastation.
Oh no, that's yeah. We really wanted to play that game because because it's Transformers, and I grew up with that cartoon. And it looks amazing. So that was a disappointment, yeah. And I don't even, I mean, Arkham Knight is
There you go.
there's one of the primary candidates besides the Order. I mean, I think it even tops the Order 1886 because it was a disastrous PC release.
Twice.
Twice. They were sorry about it twice.
They're still sorry.
They're still sorry. It's an ongoing process of an apologetic process of.
Well, at least they. I mean,
sorry meant.
They were so sorry they were offering refunds. I mean,
Yes,
you got to give them a little credit for that.
Yeah, right. Twice, and so that's definitely the biggest candidate. But overall, I have some like big pondering to do on this the game of the year actually. We also have to what is it like November? We should get cracking with our selection for the People's Choice because the voting polls should be synchronized with that as well. So
Right.
And thinking about it, it usually ends up being like similar to our choice, what people select. I think I don't know. There were cases, of course, when we just liked something different. Well, me, but
Well, the People's Choice last year was Dragon Age Inquisition,
yeah,
and then ours was Diablo 3. The
yep, that's me.
Reaper of Souls.
Well, I think it was kind of encouraged by what Vince and I were talking about. What was the game? Vince it was like a revelation kind of thing where what did you guys play most this year? And we were like, well,
Oh, right, yeah, we were all part of the meeting, and Vince was like, well, what have you played the most this year? And we're all like, Diablo 3. Well, there you go. There it is.
Yeah. And so there, that was an expansion pack. Okay. The Taken King. No, I'm kidding. So you really are serious about Rise of the Tomb Raider? Okay.
I am. I am dead serious. Dead as a tomb serious.
I really, I don't know what to say about like moving on from Game of the Year stuff. What I've been playing, because I haven't been playing much besides Tales from the Borderlands, which has this like classic Telltale formula there. It is kind of an interesting take on the Borderlands universe. So everything you, well, I can't say everything, but most of the stuff you liked about Borderlands is in there. It has this like weird humor in it and cool dialogue. But I don't know. See, the walking, not in terms of when I think about Telltale, nothing has topped The Walking Dead for me. I did play The Wolf Among Us. That was pretty cool. It was an original concept, like overall.
Yeah, but from what I played of Tales from Borderlands at Extra Life and what I was able to watch Jen play, because Jen was watching me play the first episode, and she's like, "Oh, holy shit, I'm buying this right now on your Xbox One, and I'm playing it." And she finished the whole thing. But from what she was kind of telling me about the whole Borderlands thing is that, no, it's not that gut-wrencher that The Walking Dead was, but that wouldn't fit in the Borderlands universe. And
Right.
she said that there was enough emotion in there to kind of tug at the heartstrings, but then they reminded you, this is Borderlands, you're supposed to fucking laugh.
Yep, but that's not. I mean, I was playing and I just it seemed to me like the main characters and what happens to them, and there are all these like wacky, prolonged cutscenes where so everything's like this slow explosion and these quick time events. I mean, they always have had quick time events in Telltale games.
Yes,
but it still kind of gets in the way I mean, it's like I don't know. Maybe I'm still trying to get into it. I guess. I mean, I am on chapter 3, so I should give it some time because I want to like review it, the whole series, not each chapter independently. But that's all I've been playing really. Didn't even have time for Destiny. That's always a sad thing.
What? I'm not sure I believe that.
Nope. Well, the only thing I did was like fire it up once, and then I had to like shut it off because my kid wanted to eat.
Oh, well.
She's needy.
Or yeah, that's what I was trying to explain. Why do you need food right now?
Can't you go find your own cereal and crackers? I mean, come on.
Can't you? Yeah, there are animals out there. Go hunt.
I was just telling her to go get some, boxed cereal and crackers. I wasn't telling her to go kill her own. Typical Battlefield games. I'm actually surprised they even have a single player half the time in Battlefield because it's only like 6 hours long to begin with.
Yeah.
Regardless, so that's what we all got on our dockets for the rest of the year. And you can all follow us on Twitter. Don't follow Vince because he never tweets anything. But if you want to, he's Tubby Lumpy. And Urash is Ure Vader, and I am Crunchy Chocobo, and the site is action_trip. And of course, we ask you read actiontrip.com every day, and so that we will see you next Monday. This is our new bat time and our new bat channel, Monday.
Nice.
Hey, what better way to start Mondays than with us? I can't imagine a better way to start.
No right. Better way. Doesn't exist.
All right. So till next time. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.